I always knew there was something off about my friend Jacob's bungalow, but when I was 12, I finally had proof. Jacob came from a wealthy family, and his home was a massive 3-story bungalow with a swimming pool. His family often traveled, and his sisters were either studying or working abroad, leaving their rooms empty most of the time. Because of this, whenever I stayed over, which was almost every weekend for a year or two, Jacob and I had the entire second floor to ourselves. Outside Jacob's room, there was a large open space with a grand piano and a drum set, both belonging to his sisters. That area always felt strangely quiet at night. One particular night, as we lay in bed talking, I heard something faint. Footsteps. Light and deliberate, they seemed to be coming from the open area outside the room. At first I thought I imagined it, but then Jacob stirred. He heard it too. We exchanged glances. Who else could be awake? At that moment, curiosity outweighed fear. Neither of us had ever seen anything supernatural before. So instead of being immediately terrified, we felt more intrigued than anything. We decided to investigate. Moving carefully, we peeked out the door into the darkness. The air was still, but we could sense something off. We tiptoed toward the piano, trying not to make a sound. Then, just as we reached the halfway point, tap, tap, tap. The footsteps came again, clearer this time. They were light, quick steps, as if a child was running barefoot across the floor. The sound moved from the piano to the staircase, leading up to the 3rd floor. But the strangest part? We didn't see anyone. Even though we had a clear view of the space between the piano and the stairs, no one was there. Yet the sound was unmistakable. A chill ran down my spine. Jacob and I instinctively ducked behind the piano, peeking toward the staircase. The footsteps ran up the stairs, fast and eager. I don't know why, but despite the growing fear, we felt compelled to follow. Maybe we just wanted to prove to ourselves that it was nothing, that there was some logical explanation. We slowly climbed to the 3rd floor. Jacob's father used this area as a guest lounge, and at night the large space was dimly lit by the moonlight filtering through the windows. It was empty, silent. We hid behind the sofa, waiting. Then, the footsteps returned. This time, they were slow. The sound came from the balcony and started making its way toward us. Tap, tap, tap. We stared directly at the empty floor where the footsteps should have been, but there was nothing there. The invisible footsteps drew closer. Too close. I felt my breath hitch as Jacob and I instinctively ducked behind the couch. The footsteps stopped, right in front of us. Silence. A tense, suffocating pause. Then,
"Found you."
a child's voice, right above us. I don't remember screaming, but I do remember running. We bolted back to the room, slammed the door shut, and locked it. From that night on, whenever I stayed over, I never dared to step outside the room after dark again. Jacob's parents were stern, serious people. We never dared to tell them. Instead, we waited until both of his sisters returned from abroad, hoping they might have an explanation. What they told us shocked us. They had heard the same footsteps, the same child's voice. But after they left for college, the experiences stopped. His older sister even claimed she saw it once. One night, when she was around our age, she heard footsteps outside her room and decided to investigate the noises. The moment she opened her door, she saw a pale, childlike figure standing right next to the piano. Its hair was long, damp, and lifeless. Its lips curled into an unnatural smile, and it was staring right at her. She shut the door and never spoke about it again. Jacob's house had no history of hauntings. His family built it from scratch. So who or what was that child? We eventually grew up, and whatever haunted his home never showed itself to us again. But now Jacob has children of his own. His son just turned 10. And lately he's been complaining about something knocking outside his bedroom door every night. I have a fear of the rain. You might wonder why. Well, this is my story. When I was 7 years old in my first year of secondary school, I attended afternoon classes, which meant I finished school late, usually around 6 or 7 p.m. My mom would pick me up at the bus stop after she finished work, which was around the same time. Because of this, I was often the last student waiting there. One rainy evening, as usual, I sat at the bus stop waiting for my mom. That day, she had told me beforehand that she would be working late, so I knew she wouldn't arrive on time. To pass the time, I took out my homework and began working on it. One by one, the other students left as their parents picked them up. Soon, I was the only one left at the bus stop. It was already 8 p.m., and my mom still hadn't arrived. The rain was heavy, pouring down relentlessly, but I stayed where I was, focused on finishing my homework. Then I heard someone call my name. I looked up and saw a woman walking toward me through the rain. She was dressed in red, carrying an umbrella. Because of the downpour, I couldn't see her face clearly, but as she got closer, I recognized her. It was Miss Lily, my English teacher. She stepped under the shelter of the bus stop, and I quickly stood up to greet her. Smiling, she told me that my mom had called her and asked her to take me home. Then she extended her hand and told me to come with her. I was a naive child. She was my teacher. I had no reason to doubt her. I took her hand without hesitation, stepping out from under the shelter and into the rain. We walked for about a minute before I started to feel uneasy. "Miss Lily," I said, glancing around, "where's your car?" "You said it wasn't far." She didn't answer. I frowned. "Why didn't you just park closer to the bus stop? It's raining so much." Again, she didn't respond. She didn't even look at me. That was when I knew something was wrong. A chill ran down my spine. I tried to pull my hand away, but her grip tightened. "You're scaring me, Miss Lily," I whimpered. "Where are we going?" Still, she said nothing. Tears welled up in my eyes. I knew this wasn't right. My fear turned to panic as I started struggling harder, trying to break free. That was when I looked up at her, and what I saw will haunt me forever. She wasn't Miss Lily anymore. Right before my eyes, her body stretched, rising to nearly 2 meters tall. Her face, which had once been familiar, twisted into something monstrous. A grotesque, distorted version of a woman, her features warped and unnatural. I screamed. I kicked and pulled, but her grip was like iron. My voice was drowned out by the heavy rain. No one could hear me, and no one could see me. I thought I was going to die. Then out of nowhere, a loud car horn blared through the storm. Headlights flashed. A car skidded to a stop right in front of us. It was my mom. The instant the car stopped, the monstrous woman let go of my wrist. Without a word, she turned and walked away, her figure fading into the rain. My mom rushed out of the car, grabbed me, and pulled me inside. She slammed the door shut and sped away. At home, she was furious, crying, yelling, terrified. "When I got to the bus stop, you weren't there," she shouted. "I searched everywhere for you. When I finally found you, you were walking alone in the rain." I froze. Alone? Shaking, I told her everything. I told her about Miss Lily, about how she had taken my hand, about how she had changed. My mom fell silent. Neither of us spoke after that. After that night, she hired a driver to pick me up from school every day. No more waiting, no more chances. She never wanted to risk something like that happening again. To this day, I don't know who or what that thing was. It looked like Miss Lily. It spoke like her. But I am certain it wasn't her. It was something else. Something that wanted to take me away. And if my mom hadn't come at that exact moment, I don't know where I would have ended up.